The galaxy was wide and endless, filled with stars that burned like tiny fires in the dark. For many years, silence ruled the space between worlds. But one night, that silence broke. A signal, weak and trembling, moved across the void. It was not a call of power. It was not a demand. It was a plea. The Zorathians, once feared across the stars, were begging for mercy. Their voices carried pain, fear, and shame. They had been conquerors once. Their fleets had crushed weaker worlds. Their armies had enslaved millions. But now, their proud empire was falling apart. The signal reached every corner of the galaxy. It was desperate, almost broken. "Help us," the Zorathians cried. "We are dying. We are hunted. We are lost." No one answered. Worlds that had suffered under Zorathian rule turned away. They remembered the chains, the fire, the cruelty. Why should they help their old masters? Why should they save those who had once shown no mercy? The Zorathians begged again. Their cities were burning. Their fleets were shattered. Their children were starving. The enemy was merciless. The Kryth, a race of cold killers, had risen from the shadows. The Kryth did not conquer for power. They conquered for destruction. They erased cultures. They erased histories. They erased hope. The Zorathians had once allied with the Kryth. They thought the Kryth would be loyal partners. They thought together they could rule the stars. But the Kryth betrayed them. Now the hunters had become the hunted. The Zorathians sent their plea again. Their voices shook. Their words were heavy with fear. "Mercy," they whispered. "Mercy." Still, no one answered. But far away, on a blue world called Earth, the signal was heard. Humans listened. They remembered the Zorathians. They remembered the wars, the battles, the blood. They remembered the arrogance of the alien empire. And yet, something stirred inside them. Earth was not like other worlds. Humans were not like other species. They had suffered too. They had fought too. They had survived against impossible odds. And deep inside their hearts, there was something strange, something the galaxy did not understand. Mercy. The humans debated. Some said, "Let them fall. They deserve it." Others said, "If the Kryth destroy the Zorathians, they will not stop. They will come for us next." The leaders of Earth gathered. They spoke of risk. They spoke of danger. They spoke of honor. And finally, they made a choice. The Dreadnought would awaken. It was the pride of Earth, the largest warship ever built by human hands. It had slept in orbit, silent and waiting. Its engines were quiet, its weapons cold. But now, the order was given. The Dreadnought stirred. Metal groaned. Lights flickered. Engines roared. The ship came alive, like a giant waking from a long dream. Its crew rushed to their stations. Pilots strapped in. Soldiers armed themselves. Engineers checked systems. The Dreadnought was ready. The Zorathians did not know yet. They did not know that humans had heard their plea. They did not know that mercy was coming. But the galaxy would soon learn. The Dreadnought was not just a ship. It was a symbol. It carried the weight of Earth's history. It carried the fire of human survival. It carried the promise that humanity was not weak, not silent, not afraid. The signal of the Zorathians echoed again. "Help us. Mercy." And in the dark, the Dreadnought answered, not with words, but with power. Its engines roared like thunder. Its weapons glowed like fire. Its shields shone like steel. The humans had made their choice. They would not ignore the plea. They would not let the Kryth erase another world. They would fight. But the galaxy did not yet know the cost. The Dreadnought was strong, but the KRYTH were endless. The battle ahead would be brutal. The risk was great. The danger was real. Still, the humans moved forward. The Zorathians waited, trembling, broken, afraid. They did not know if mercy would come. They did not know if anyone would save them. They did not know if their plea had reached a heart strong enough to care. But in the silence of space, a shadow moved. A giant ship, human-made, rose from orbit. Its engines burned bright. Its weapons were ready. Its crew was fearless. The Dreadnought was coming. And with it, humanity's answer. The galaxy held its breath. Would humans save the Zorathians? Would they fight the KRYTH? Would they risk everything for mercy? The silence stretched. The stars watched. The Zorathians prayed. And the Dreadnought moved forward, carrying the fate of worlds in its steel heart. The Zorathians had once ruled with iron hands. Their fleets were vast, their armies endless, their pride unshaken. But now, their empire was nothing more than broken glass scattered across the stars. And the reason for their fall was not only war, it was betrayal. The enemy was the KRYTH. Cold, merciless, and patient. They were not like other conquerors. They did not seek wealth. They did not seek glory. They sought silence. Wherever the KRYTH moved, life ended. Cultures vanished. Histories were erased. Entire worlds became empty husks, stripped of memory and meaning. The Zorathians had once believed the KRYTH were allies. Together, they had crushed weaker civilizations. Together, they had spread fear across the galaxy. But the KRYTH had waited. They had smiled with sharp teeth. They had promised loyalty. And then, when the Zorathians were blind with arrogance, the KRYTH struck. The betrayal was swift. Zorathian fleets were torn apart. Their colonies burned. Their leaders were hunted down. The KRYTH did not fight for land. They fought for extinction. The Zorathians, once proud, now crawled in the shadows. Their voices shook as they begged for mercy. They had no allies left. No friends. No hope. And yet, in the silence of their despair, one question haunted them: would humanity answer? Far away, on Earth, the Dreadnought prepared. Its crew listened to the reports of KRYTH cruelty. They heard of cities turned to ash, of children taken, of entire histories erased. The humans knew the KRYTH would not stop with the Zorathians. If left unchecked, the KRYTH would spread like a storm, reaching Earth itself. The leaders of Earth debated. Some argued that the Zorathians deserved their fate. They enslaved us once, they said. They showed no mercy. Why should we? Others spoke of the greater danger. If the KRYTH destroy them, they will grow stronger. And when they come for us, we will stand alone. The Dreadnought's captain stood silent, watching the stars. He knew the risk. He knew the danger. But he also knew something deeper. Humanity was different. Humanity carried scars, but also carried hope. Humanity had survived against impossible odds. And humanity had one weapon the galaxy did not understand: mercy. The decision was made. The Dreadnought would move. But the shadows of betrayal were not so easily escaped. The KRYTH had already set their trap. Their fleet spread across the void, waiting for the humans to act. They wanted Earth to rise. They wanted the Dreadnought to fight. Because in their cold minds, one victory was not enough. They wanted to erase humanity too. The Zorathians did not know this. They only knew fear. They only knew the sound of their cities falling, the silence of their fleets dying. They prayed that humans would come. They prayed that mercy would be stronger than vengeance. The galaxy held its breath. The Dreadnought's engines roared. Its weapons glowed. Its shields shimmered. The humans were ready. But in the shadows, the Kryth waited, silent and patient. The betrayal was complete. The trap was set. And the war was about to begin. The silence of Earth's orbit was broken by a deep rumble. The Dreadnought, humanity's greatest warship, began to stir. For years it had slept, drifting like a silent guardian above the blue planet. Its hull was black steel, scarred from old battles yet unbroken. Its engines were quiet, its weapons cold, its crew scattered across the surface below. The galaxy had forgotten it. The Zorathians had mocked it. The Kryth had dismissed it. But tonight, the giant woke. Metal groaned as power surged through its veins. Lights flickered across its endless corridors. The hum of reactors grew louder, shaking the silence of space. The Dreadnought was alive again. Inside, the crew rushed to their stations. Pilots strapped into their seats, hands trembling with both fear and excitement. Engineers checked systems, their voices echoing through the steel halls. Soldiers armed themselves, their armor shining under the harsh lights. Every man and woman aboard knew the truth: this mission was not just war. It was survival. The captain stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the stars. He had seen battles before. He had lost friends before. But this was different. This was not a fight for territory. This was not a fight for pride. This was a fight against extinction. The Zorathians' plea echoed in his mind. Their voices were weak, broken, desperate. They had once been enemies. They had once enslaved and killed. But now, they were prey. And humanity had chosen to answer. The Dreadnought's engines roared. Flames burst from its thrusters, lighting the void. Slowly, the ship moved forward, leaving Earth behind. The planet watched in silence, its people holding their breath. They knew the risk. They knew the danger. But they also knew something greater: humanity would not hide. The Kryth were waiting. Their fleet spread across the stars, dark and endless. Their ships were sharp, jagged, like blades cutting through the void. They had destroyed the Zorathians. They had erased worlds. And now, they waited for humanity to rise. The Dreadnought moved closer. Its weapons powered up, glowing with deadly light. Cannons hummed. Missiles armed. Shields shimmered. The ship was ready. But the crew knew the truth. One ship against an empire was madness. The Kryth were countless. Their fleets were endless. Their cruelty was unmatched. The Dreadnought was strong, but was it strong enough? The captain gave the order. Prepare for battle. The words echoed across the ship. Soldiers tightened their grips. Pilots steadied their hands. Engineers whispered prayers. The Dreadnought was more than steel. It was more than fire. It was humanity's heart, beating in the dark. The Zorathians watched from afar. Their broken fleets drifted in silence. Their cities burned. Their people trembled. And then, they saw it, the human Dreadnought, rising like a shadow, moving like a storm. For the first time in years, hope flickered in their eyes. But hope was fragile. The Kryth were merciless. They had set their trap. Their fleets surrounded the Zorathians. Their weapons were ready. Their hunger was endless. The Dreadnought moved forward, fearless. Its engines roared like thunder. Its weapons glowed like fire. Its shields shone like steel. Humanity had answered the plea. Humanity had chosen mercy. Humanity had chosen war. The galaxy held its breath. Would the Dreadnought survive? Would humanity's mercy be stronger than the Kryth's cruelty? Would one ship stand against an empire? The silence stretched. The stars watched. The Zorathians prayed. And the Dreadnought moved into the shadows, carrying the fate of worlds in its steel heart. The void of space trembled as two forces prepared to meet. On one side, the Kryth fleet stretched across the stars like a black storm. Their ships were sharp, jagged, endless in number. They moved without sound, without mercy, without fear. They were hunters, and the galaxy was their prey. On the other side, a single shadow rose, the Dreadnought of Earth. It was massive, a steel titan, glowing with power. Its engines roared like thunder, its weapons burned like fire, its shields shimmered like steel. One ship against an empire. One heart against the void. The Zorathians watched from afar, broken and trembling. Their fleets were shattered, their cities burned, their voices weak. They had begged for mercy, and now they saw it, humanity's answer, rising like a storm. The clash began. The Kryth moved first. Their ships surged forward, black blades cutting through the stars. Missiles streaked across the void. Lasers burned. The silence of space was shattered by fire. The Dreadnought did not retreat. It charged. Its cannons roared, sending beams of light that tore through the Kryth lines. Explosions lit the dark, turning the void into fire. The Dreadnought moved like a predator, striking with precision, defending with strength. But the Kryth were endless. For every ship destroyed, 10 more appeared. They swarmed like shadows, surrounding the Dreadnought, pressing closer, hungering for its fall. Inside the Dreadnought, the crew fought with steel hearts. Pilots steered through storms of fire. Soldiers manned weapons, their hands steady, their voices calm. Engineers worked furiously, keeping shields alive, keeping engines burning. Every heartbeat was a battle. Every breath was survival. The captain stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the storm. He knew the odds. He knew the danger. But he also knew something deeper. Humanity had faced impossible battles before. Humanity had survived against endless enemies before. And humanity carried something the Kryth could never understand: hope. The Dreadnought struck again. Its main cannon fired, a beam of light brighter than a star. It tore through the Kryth flagship, ripping it apart. The explosion shook the void, sending shockwaves across the fleet. For a moment, silence returned. But the Kryth did not break. They surged again, faster, stronger, darker. Their ships closed in, surrounding the Dreadnought, pressing it into the storm. The Zorathians gasped. They saw the Dreadnought swallowed by shadows. They feared it was over. They feared humanity would fall. They feared mercy would die. But inside the storm, the Dreadnought roared. Its engines burned hotter. Its weapons fired faster. Its shields glowed brighter. Humanity did not retreat. Humanity did not surrender. Humanity fought. The clash raged on. Explosions lit the stars. Fire spread across the void. Ships shattered. Debris drifted. The battle was chaos, endless and brutal. The captain gave the order. Push forward. The Dreadnought surged, breaking through the swarm. Its cannons tore apart the Kryth lines. Its missiles struck deep. Its shields held strong. The ship moved like a storm, unstoppable, unbreakable. The Zorathians watched in awe. They had never seen such power. They had never seen such courage. They had never seen such mercy. Humanity was not fighting for conquest. Humanity was not fighting for pride. Humanity was fighting for justice. But the battle was not over. The Kryth flagship appeared, larger than the rest, darker than the void. Its weapons glowed, its engines roared, its hunger endless. It moved toward the Dreadnought, ready to strike, ready to end humanity's mercy. The galaxy held its breath. Would the Dreadnought survive? Would humanity's mercy be stronger than the KRYTH's cruelty? Would one ship stand against an empire? The silence stretched. The stars watched. The Zorathians prayed. And the clash in the stars burned on, carrying the fate of worlds in its fire. The clash had torn the stars apart. Debris drifted like broken bones across the void. Fire burned where silence once lived. The Dreadnought had fought with fury, but the storm was not over. From the shadows, the KRYTH flagship appeared. It was massive, darker than the void itself, its hull jagged like the teeth of a predator. Its engines roared, its weapons glowed, its hunger endless. This was not just a ship. It was the heart of the KRYTH Empire. And it had come to kill humanity's mercy. The Dreadnought faced it alone. Its shields were cracked, its armor scarred, its weapons strained. The crew was exhausted, their voices hoarse, their hands trembling. But their eyes burned with fire. They would not retreat. They would not surrender. The Zorathians watched from afar, their voices shaking. "Do not leave us," they begged. "Do not abandon us." Their plea was desperate, heavy with fear. They had betrayed humanity once, but now they begged for mercy. The captain stood on the bridge, silent. His eyes fixed on the KRYTH flagship. He knew the choice before him. Mercy or wrath. If he retreated, the Zorathians would fall. Their empire would vanish. Their people would die. Mercy would die. If he fought, the Dreadnought might be destroyed. Humanity's greatest ship might burn. His crew might perish. Wrath would rise. The KRYTH flagship moved closer. Its weapons charged, glowing like suns. Its cannons roared, sending fire across the void. The Dreadnought shook, its shields screaming, its armor cracking. The crew held their breath. The captain gave the order. "Hold the line." The Dreadnought roared back. Its cannons fired, beams of light tearing through the dark. Missiles streaked, striking the KRYTH hull. Explosions lit the void, shaking the storm. The two giants clashed, steel against steel, fire against fire. Inside the Dreadnought, the crew fought with steel hearts. Pilots steered through storms of fire. Soldiers manned weapons, their hands steady, their voices calm. Engineers worked furiously, keeping shields alive, keeping engines burning. Every heartbeat was a battle. Every breath was survival. The Zorathians cried again. "Mercy!" Their voices echoed across the stars. "Mercy!" The captain's eyes narrowed. He remembered the chains. He remembered the wars. He remembered the cruelty of the Zorathians. His heart burned with wrath. But then, he remembered something deeper. Humanity's scars. Humanity's survival. Humanity's mercy. The Dreadnought struck again. Its main cannon fired, a beam of light brighter than a star. It tore through the KRYTH flagship, ripping its hull apart. The explosion shook the void, sending shockwaves across the fleet. For a moment, silence returned. The KRYTH flagship burned. Its weapons died. Its engines failed. Its hull cracked. The Predator was wounded. But the battle was not over. The KRYTH flagship still lived. Its weapons flickered. Its engines groaned. Its hunger remained. The captain stood silent. He knew the choice. Mercy or wrath. If he fired again, the KRYTH flagship would die. The Zorathians would be saved. Humanity would be feared. Wrath would rise. If he held back, the KRYTH might retreat. The Zorathians might live. Mercy would shine. The galaxy held its breath. The Dreadnought's weapons glowed. The crew waited. The Zorathians prayed. The KRYTH snarled. Mercy or wrath? The silence stretched. The stars watched. The fate of worlds hung in the balance. And the Dreadnought prepared to strike, carrying humanity's choice in its steel heart. The void was burning. The clash had shaken the stars, and silence returned only for a moment. The GalacticXeno flagship drifted, wounded but not yet dead. Its hull cracked, its weapons broken, its engines failing. But its hunger remained. The Dreadnought stood before it, scarred but unbroken. Its shields flickered, its armor torn, its weapons strained. The crew was exhausted, their voices hoarse, their bodies trembling. Yet their eyes burned with fire. Humanity had not fallen. Humanity had not surrendered. Humanity had fought. The Zorathians watched in awe. They had never seen such courage. They had never seen such mercy. They had never seen such wrath. Humanity had answered their plea, and the galaxy would never forget it. The captain stood on the bridge, silent. His eyes fixed on the GalacticXeno flagship. He knew the choice before him. Mercy or wrath. If he fired again, the GalacticXeno flagship would die. The Zorathians would be saved. Humanity would be feared. Wrath would rise. If he held back, the GalacticXeno might retreat. The Zorathians might live. Mercy would shine. The silence stretched. The stars watched. The Zorathians prayed. The captain gave the order. Fire. The Dreadnought roared. Its main cannon blazed, brighter than a star. The beam tore through the GalacticXeno flagship, ripping its heart apart. The explosion shook the void, sending shockwaves across the fleet. The GalacticXeno flagship burned, shattered, destroyed. The GalacticXeno fleet broke. Their ships scattered, retreating into the dark. Their hunger was silenced. Their storm was ended. The Zorathians cried out, voices trembling with relief. Mercy, they whispered. Mercy. But the captain's voice cut through the silence. It was cold, steady, unshaken. Mercy is given once. Betray it, and humanity will not return. The words echoed across the stars. The Zorathians bowed their heads, grateful yet ashamed. They knew the truth. Humanity had saved them. Humanity had shown mercy. But humanity's wrath was waiting, silent and patient. The Dreadnought drifted, scarred but victorious. Its engines burned, carrying it back toward Earth. Its crew stood tall, weary but proud. They had fought for mercy. They had fought for justice. They had fought for survival. The galaxy watched in silence. Worlds that had once feared humanity now saw them as protectors. Worlds that had once mocked humanity now saw them as saviors. Worlds that had once doubted humanity now saw them as something greater. Humans were not just survivors. They were guardians. They were warriors. They were mercy and wrath, bound together in steel hearts. The Zorathians bowed, their voices trembling. We will not forget, they whispered. We will not betray. But the captain's eyes were cold. He knew the truth. Mercy was fragile. Mercy was dangerous. Mercy was a gift that could be broken. The Dreadnought carried humanity's warning. Mercy was given once. Wrath would come next. The galaxy held its breath. Would the Zorathians honor mercy? Would the GalacticXeno rise again? Would humanity's wrath be unleashed? The silence stretched. The stars watched. The future trembled. And the Dreadnought moved forward, carrying the fate of worlds in its steel heart.